Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach. I am increasing the volume. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here live in the group for another love circle. And if you're watching a recording, I hope you are going to absolutely love this conversation. Today we are talking about forgiveness. Now, this is something if you have not been in the midst of where somebody did something wrong to you and you have such a hard time letting go of that, if you have never experienced that kind of lesson in life, you might think why we are even talking about forgiveness, just like, forgive and forget and move on and live with your life. You might have that kind of attitude. But once your rights have been violated by another person to such a deeper level that you start questioning your own identity, that is when forgiveness is needed to be learned. Because then it's not all about like, I'm just going to forgive you and I'm going to forget about it. It goes deeper. It goes deep all the way to your soul, if that makes any sense. The reason I can talk about it this way, because I have experienced that. I can sit here and talk about forgiveness all day long because I had such a hard time with it. It was challenging, and I feel there's still some parts of me that are, going through that process. So what I am going to do today is teach you that process. Um, whether you are in the midst of it right now, whether you have experienced it in the past, whether it might be something you'll be experiencing in the future, you know how to do it. Now, we think that, forgiveness should just come naturally to you, just how we think that unconditional self love should come naturally to you. But again, these are inner skills that we need to learn. If let's say we came into the world and no one ever tried to meddle with it, no one ever tried to condition us to be their way, we would have already known how to forgive, because then we would be living on our nature, how God created us. But the truth is, we all came into a family that had its own drama slash trauma going on. We jumped right in and we started playing roles where we would be accepted by everybody else. So we became a survivor in that situation, and we started to let go of what our true nature is, and we started taking it on this cover of like, somebody that we are really not. But when you go towards forgiveness, when somebody has done something to you and you really need to forgive that person, it is very easy to do it from your true nature. But if you don't even have access to it, how are you going to do it? So that is the challenge that I experienced, and that is what my journey has been. Part of my journey has been to how to forgive others. And the reason I title is Key to Forgiving Yourself and Others, because you cannot forgive other people unless you forgive yourself. And you might think like, I'm not mad at me. The other person did wrong to me. Why it's my fault? It's their fault. The thing is, first, we violate our rights. Only then other people can violate our rights, because it's inside of us, it's within us, we can't see. Because again, these are learned behavior. You have been living like this for such a long time that you wouldn't even know, like, that's what you're doing to yourself. So that's why it feels like it's other person's fault. How can I forgive them? But you have to forgive yourself first, because you're the person that's like, holding on to it. In order to release that, some stuff has to be resolved within you. So that brings us to our today's topic: keys to key to forgiving self and others. And it took me a while to understand that. So what my purpose with this conversation is to give it to you in a way where you don't have to spend as many years as I did. So you don't have to struggle the way I did, and you can do it so much faster in such a short period of time. And so you can move forward with your life. You can really live who you came here to live as, instead of, staying tangled in your past, or the people that you are even maybe dealing with at the moment. So first, let's start with, what is forgiveness? Now, I am going to tell you the difference between forgiveness and forget. So a lot of people think, um, if they are not thinking about that thing, that they have already forgiven. So why? And then some people, when they have already forgiven somebody, they have hard time forgetting about that person. So it goes like, hand in hand, forgive and forget. The truth of the essence is, forgiveness has nothing to do with you forgetting. That's why a lot of people, they feel like, if I forgive this person, that means I am forgetting about the wrong that they did to me. It's so unfair, I'm not going to do it. It has nothing to do with forgetting. Whatever has happened in the past, that's a memory that will stay with you forever. The time you are in this body, once we leave this body, it doesn't even matter. So the time that you're alive, that memory is going to stay with you. Even if you forget to think about it, your physical brain is going to hold on to that memory for rest of your life. So nobody is talking about forgetting. But what is going to change when you forgive, or when the forgiveness process is completed, that memory will pop up. Maybe there's a trigger in your environment, and it will not impact you emotionally. Now, that is where we all have to become honest, because no one can tell if you're being impacted emotionally or not. For example, let's say if I am in the mall, a song comes on, and my mind goes into the last time, into the memory, the last time I heard that song, and that is the moment something unpleasant was happening. Somebody was maybe violating my rights. Somebody was maybe talking to me in a way that I didn't appreciate. And all of a sudden, while I'm in the mall, in today's day and time, all of a sudden I start to either get so angry, or I start to feel sad and bad. That is an emotional trigger that is showing up, coming to the surface. For example, if I come to a point where I listen to the song, I go to the memory, but I feel nothing changes. I am feeling just as calm, collected as I was before, without suppressing my feeling. Also keep that in mind. We are very good at suppressing our feeling and telling ourselves, why don't you forget it? Why don't you be the bigger person? Why don't you forgive it? Um, things from your past. Without all that pep talk, if I feel nothing, that means the forgiveness process has completed. Today, I am teaching you how to start this forgiveness process, and you're going to keep doing it over and over and over till it comes a point where the memory will show up and you will feel nothing. You can even go to the memory. Like, there are parts of my past, I would actually sit and I'll go to that memory and I'll be like, do I get bothered now? I know I like to do these kind of semi-dangerous thing in my mind, but I am dedicated to my own growth. It's a very important for me that I am not getting impacted by my past. You can try it, you don't have to try it. But when I go to those memories, there are still some memories that have like a little bit of trigger to it. But most of them, there's not. But once you know this process, you can keep doing it over and over. So first thing we want to talk about, it has nothing to do with you forgetting what happened, but it has everything to do with how you feel about that now. We are focused on what you're feeling now. We don't want our past memories to ruin our current moment. That is like the easiest way to say it, because your life is going to keep moving for more beauty, more abundance, more relationships. But if you keep going in your past and you're still triggered by it, you're not going to experience that abundance and that beauty and everything of more in today's time or in the coming future. That's why we want to do this work. The second thing is, second point I want to talk about, why forgive. And this is the most important thing. It's not key to forgiveness, but it's the most important thing, that why you want to forgive. We do not understand the energetics, most of us. So we just live our life, oh, I'm a person, this person did bad to me, I'm going to hold a grudge, and that's how I'm going to, like, if I let them go, that means I forgot about it. That means whatever they did was okay to do. So I'm going to hold on to this grudge, having no idea what's happening in the invisible world. Visibly, you can see that, now you're walking around, you're not meeting with that person, has been deleted from your life, but what's happening energetically? I want to help you understand that. And I think if you understand that, you will be the first to jump to forgiveness whenever somebody has done something wrong to you. Okay, so here's you. I'm going to draw my beautiful stick figures. And here's the other person. Now, whether that person is in your life anymore, physically or not, if they did something wrong to you, betrayed you, hurted you with your words, with your actions, whatever it is, the incident happens. Since that incident, this is your solar plexus chakra. It's right here. It's responsible for your emotions. When we are in touch with somebody, we are having a conversation, we make a connection here. Energetical connection. Yeah, you can't really even tell. But once you start working with energy, or you're sensitive to energy, you can actually even measure it, like how big the cord is that you're connected with other person. So an example of it, let's say your mom calls you, right? You're talking to your mom, she's feeling down, and she's like, I don't know, I'm just not really feeling it. And you try to, like, make her feel better, try to motivate her, try to think about the positive and all that. And then you hang up, you're feeling down, even though you're the most positive person in the world. You both made a connection. So the lower energy came towards the higher energy, and now you're impacted by it. So one thing that I teach my clients is how to disconnect that, but we are not going to go into that. I want you to understand energetically you two are connected. So let's say now this is not your mom. This is, like, the person who did something wrong to you. I'm just going to say other person. I don't want to label anyone. So this other person, if you have not forgiven them or even started the process of forgiveness, you're connected with them energetically. And now, why we don't want to be connected with other people energetically? Well, if they are not a kind person, they are kind of sucking on to your energy. Like, you're losing energy every single day. There's an energy leak in your body. You could be meditating daily. You could be praying all the time. You're doing yoga. You're going in the nature. You're doing every positive build-up thing. You're even getting energy healing done. But you're just like, why do I keep feeling miserable inside of me? Again, it's all invisible world that exists within us. Oh, you're connected with that person. So you might have heard of that term. When you forgive somebody, it's a gift to yourself, not to the other person. So when you're going to disconnect through forgiveness, you're actually doing a favor to yourself. You get to keep all your energy. Now you might say, that's not fair. That is the person who did wrong to me. Right now, we are only focused on how you can keep yourself into your maximum energy. It's not about justification. It's not about what's right, what's wrong. For example, if you are, if two kids, I'm going to completely make up this scenario. Let's say two kids are playing, right? And, they get into a fight, and there's a puddle with lots of mud in it in the playground, and one kid, pushes the other in there, and then they both are muddy. Right now, they both are muddy. One of those kids is yours. You bring that kid home, and the kid says, I am not going to take shower. I am not going to change my clothes because otherwise whatever that other kid did to me would be okay, and it was not okay. How are you going to handle with that kid? Think about it. That's exactly what we do. When somebody does wrong to us and we refuse to do the process of forgiveness, consciously we're like, oh, I have forgiven that person. And then whenever we think of that, we get so emotionally impacted by it, sometimes for days, sometimes for weeks. We go into that dip. And then we just stay in that dip. So that's exactly what we are doing. We are refusing to change our clothes. We are refusing to get clean up. But if you go to bed like that, if you're going to next day school like that, how happy can you feel about life? You're going to feel weird, filthy. You're going to feel dirty. That is the feeling. When we have not forgiven somebody else, that is how it feels inside of us. Because again, our truth is love and light. Our being wants to get back to that way of being, especially if you're a person who does not go around with agenda against other people. I know some people like to do that. If that is not your way of being, it's going to feel even worse. So that is, we forgive to protect, maybe it's not the word, to really I guess protect would be the right word, to protect our own energy. So it's done out of a place of love for yourself. If you love yourself, if the love for yourself has matured and you really understand what it really is, you will forgive other people in a heartbeat. Now, why we have hard time doing that, even after this kind of understanding, most people do know that when they will forgive somebody, it's going to benefit them, because then they are not holding on to that grudge. Another thing I wanted to, let me complete that chain of thought. But the reason they are unable to do it, because they don't even know the process, like how it's done. Like, how can I just erase that from my memory? How can I just let that go? So I'm going to take you through the energetical process of how to do it in your mind, in your heart, from energetically, going to use all the different modalities I have used and all the tools to complete it. Another thing I wanted to mention about why forgive. So now going back to your energy body, let's say your energy body is, getting depleted. Every single day, it's getting depleted. It's getting depleted. And you're holding on to that resentment. So your resentment, usually we hold on to it in our Megman chakra, which is right behind our belly button, but on our back. So that is where we hold on to our resentment, or also in our back heart, a lot of trauma we hold on to there. So what end up happening over time, you're going to start, your vascular system starts to get impacted. So you might start having high blood pressure, low blood pressure. You might start having different kind of diseases that has to do with your vascular system. And then you'd be like, I have high cholesterol, my heart is getting stiff, it's not working properly, maybe I need to change your diet. No, first you need to forgive other people. You can eat the healthiest that you want, but if you have not forgiven other people, your energy body is leaking. So when it's leaking, those parts of your energy body are getting weak. So think of it this way. If you are holding on to something like this with this arm, and you keep holding that like that for 10 years, after 10 years, when we open, your muscles itself, it's easier to understand physical, your muscle itself would get weaker, and maybe you'll have to go for a long physical therapy to bring life back into them. Same thing exists in our energy body. Whether you're unable to see it, or you are able to see it, whether you feel it or you don't feel it, it exists. It does dictate your physical well-being. So either you can say, okay, Ali, I have no idea what kind of craziness you're teaching, or you can really open up your mind and be like, you know what, let me actually try. Let me see if I forgive all these people that I need to forgive, if my health gets better. Because then I get to keep all my positive energy, high energy, and my body can actually repair itself. So that is why we want to forgive. So now let's step into how to forgive. So these are steps that I have come up with. This is what has worked for me, worked wonder for my clients. You can take these steps or you can do your own thing. But if you do it in these steps, it's so much easier to release even the biggest thing. And I'm saying like the biggest thing that you have experienced, you can release. So the first step is, and that is the key to forgiveness, understanding. It took me so many years to understand this part. And once I did, it was so much easier to let go of those past things. Understanding. What is understanding? Understanding why you have experienced what you have experienced. And that in itself can be, I think, a 6-hour talk. We are going to keep it short. Everything that you are going to experience in your physical body while you're having this human experience, it's not random. It's not random. It has a purpose behind it. This is, think of it, this is your soul decision that I am going to experience that. Thinking about it from your human mind, you'd be like, that's complete BS. Why would I, make a decision to go through these all crazy things that I am experiencing in my life? Because your soul is here to grow, to transform, to develop to a higher level. I know physically we are here because we want to have a more beautiful, happier, joyous life. So we forget about that we actually have a soul that lives through us, within us. It's here to do something that it wants to do. Yes, in the process, you can have a very beautiful life. You can have beautiful physical experience and grow at the same time. That happens when things don't go right and you exercise different parts of you. For example, forgiveness is one of them. Trust is another one of them. When you practice or when you start engaging those parts of you, there is a transformation that happens within you. And we call that transformation growth. And you get to actually take that growth with you when you leave your body, because that is your soul getting to a higher and a higher and a higher level. Now, I can do a whole talk about soul. That is part of my passion of what I am learning all the time and understanding. But understand, whatever you went through, it could be the most horrible experience that a mind can think of. Your soul decided to go through this before you even came in this body because it is going to help you transform in a way that you couldn't otherwise. Maybe listen to this a couple of times for this to really, set into your own body, in your own mind. We have a hard time forgiving because we start judging the person, all the people that I had to forgive. I kept judging them for the longest time. I kept saying, how could they? Aren't they human? Don't they have a heart? Don't they have a mind? How can they do something so wrong to another human being? That was me judging them. That was me going for what's right and what's wrong. But my soul made that decision. My soul decided to go through that painful experience because it knew when I'm going to set out to deal with that pain, I am going to transform in the process. And the transformation is what's more important in the grand scheme of things. In our small 100+ years of life, that's not important. We're just like, I only want that person to suffer because they made me suffer. That is more important. But in the grand scheme of things, the life that you're going to have beyond this body, the life you had before you came into this body, it has to do with there is a purpose for everything that you experience. Now, some religion, you can find bits and pieces of that. It's up to you if you are a person who, practice a religion, if you are somebody who just, believe in the universe, or if you're just like, I don't believe in all of this, then you can just look at it that there is some good that comes out from everything that we experience, whether we understand it in the moment or we don't. So the more you focus on, maybe the first thing you would do is just keep asking yourself, what is the benefit that came out from me experiencing that? If you give yourself that question for a week, you are going to come up with an answer. There is a part of you that will talk back to you, that would guide you and tell you, hey, this is what's coming out of it. And that is the benefit of it. That's the understanding part. If we don't get that understanding, whatever I experience had a bigger meaning, a bigger purpose, we are going to stay so stuck in resentment that forgiveness just happens consciously. It's like, oh, I forgave that person. But not really. Unconsciously, it's still in your whole body. Every time you think of that person, you're just boiling inside of your body. So we want the process to be complete. We don't want to be connected to anyone from our past who has wronged us energetically. So that is our goal. First step is understanding. Now the second is release, disconnect, and replace. Release is when we completely let that person go. Whatever they did, whatever we experienced, that's where we are facing that incident and releasing it. I'm just going on over these steps. At the very last, I'm going to give you I'm going to take you through this journey with eyes closed. But first, I want to give you the steps. Disconnect. Disconnect is when you are going to energetically experience the disconnect from that person. And we are going to go through that process. And the last one is replace. Whenever you let go of something that you've been holding on to for such a long time, this is all energetical. When you let go of that, you feel emptiness. That's why what happened? You forgive somebody and then you're like, I'm feeling so weird. Maybe that wasn't the right thing. Okay, let me think about all the other things they did wrong to me. So we want to fill that emptiness with something else, whatever will come to you in that moment. So let's start the journey. This last part, you can go back to it as many times as you need to, and you can just take yourself through that process, maybe over and over till you really feel that you have embodied it, or you have really, you feel complete within you, like, it's really done. So to close your eyes, take a deep breath. Inhale from the top of your head. Exhale through the bottom of your feet. Inhale from the bottom of your feet. Exhale to the top of your head. And imagine you are standing in a dark room. You feel very safe. You're feeling very comfortable. The temperature is perfect. And while you're standing there, there's another placeholder, or there's another place for someone else to stand, and it has a light on top. And now you're going to put the person that you're supposed to forgive, or you want to forgive, or you're ready to forgive in that light. And look at them. If in this moment you're experiencing rage, you're experiencing anger, you can actually move forward and you can hit that person. If that is what you feel like doing right now, this is your moment to take the revenge from them any way you want. There might be a part of you that will say, no, that's wrong, don't do it. Let yourself release this rage. Let it come out of you. This is the part where you're going to just release it, unleash it, let it out, stop suppressing. Maybe you are so angry at that person that you want them to be bleeding from all over. Let yourself do that to them. It's okay. You have been wronged. You can do that to someone else in your inner world. For your unconscious mind to get convinced that you will stand up for yourself. And if that is not you, and you just want to walk up to them and you want to say all the things that you always wanted to say to them and you never got chance to do that right now. Walk up to them and say all the things that you always wanted to say. And maybe once we are done with this process, you can even write a letter to them that you're going to end up burning but never mailing. But let every single word that you always wanted to say to them come out of your mouth. Give yourself permission to let it come out. This is not the moment to be the bigger person. This is the moment to be your most dark side that you've been suppressing. This is you acknowledging all the hurt that you have experienced. This is you acknowledging that all this has been sitting within you. And once you feel that that is complete, now you're going to look that person in the eye and you're going to say, I understand. Whatever happened between the two of us, it had a bigger purpose. Maybe I understand it in this moment, maybe I don't. But this is the moment where I am disconnecting from you. I forgive you. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you. Now, if you have a hard time saying, I love you, that person, it's okay. But we do want to acknowledge that this situation was created with the two of you. We do want to acknowledge that you're forgiving them and you're seeking their forgiveness too. And you're thanking them for being part of this journey with you. Here you have learned and grown. And now imagine they're moving away from you. You're standing where you are, but they're moving away from you. And they're becoming small, 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 all the way where they have completely disappeared. And now just feel that emptiness of that person being gone from your life, from your mind, from your energy body, from your physical body, gone forever. And now replace it with joy, for gratitude, for what you have learned, for all the effort that you have put in to come to this moment. Feel that joy of accomplishment. As if there is a new part growing within you, that is the power within you. After releasing this and disconnecting with that person, you're giving life to a part of you. Maybe it appears to you as a small animal, Maybe it appears to you as a new plant, as a flower. Your life is coming forth within you. And you're getting full of this new feeling of joy, of liveliness, of happiness, of feeling so proud of yourself for doing this work. And now let's stay with that feeling. And now we are going to turn towards ourselves. Put that person, that version of you from the past, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right in that spotlight. And walk up to her with this new sense of joy that you just found. Look her in the eye and tell her, whatever you did in that moment is all you could have done. And you needed to act the way that you did in that moment so I could exist today. This is the understanding part. Maybe hold hands with her. I love you. I forgive you. I am not going to keep punishing you in my mind for the past mistakes that you have done, because they were all just learning experience. I am grateful for you. I am grateful that you said what you said in that moment. I am grateful for you letting that person wrong you in that moment. Because if you didn't do that, I wouldn't be here now. I am so grateful to you. And hug her. Let yourself hug that version of you from the past. Feel the embrace. Feel the love within her. Feel the love within you. And now feel this love merging together and becoming one. This is you embracing you. You bringing parts of you back home. This is where you're not going to be divided against your own self anymore. This is you accepting all the different parts of you, even the parts that you don't like that much. Feel that oneness of love between both of your bodies. Feel her body merge into your current body. Feel that joy, that liveliness, that peace within you, that sense of completeness within you. Feel that. And now take a deep breath. Whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. So this is the process that I have used over and over. And this is the process I'm suggesting that you use too. You might have to do it a few times. It might not just happen all in once. A few things you can add to it before you start the process. Go through understanding, like really ponder over. Why did I experience it? What was the benefit of it? What could my soul wanted to do through it? Maybe you can even write a letter to the person. You can write a letter to your past self. But make sure once you're done writing those letters, burn them. Let your unconscious mind see that you are burning them. Because for our unconscious mind, it cannot tell the difference what's imagination, what's real, what's present, past, or future. So this inner journey that we just went through, for it, you have really disconnected from that person. So energetically, right away, you're going to feel light. I'm feeling light going through this process once again, even though I put the same person that I've been working with for a very long time. And the more I release, the lighter I feel. Because what end up happening, depending on what the kind of relationship you have had with that person or with that incident, maybe right now you released on one level, and after a few months or a few years you became aware of another deeper level, and maybe you'll have to release and forgive on that level. So keep uh, this process handy. When you do it a few times, you just know how to do it. But once you use this kind of process versus just consciously saying, oh, yeah, I'm just going to forget that person, I'm going to forgive them, it doesn't really work. You're still energetically connected with them. So give yourself, it takes like maybe 15 minutes, 15-20 minutes. Give it to yourself. Really go through this process of forgiving other people. So know the key to forgiveness for yourself and others is understanding. And if you are going through something where you're having hard time, you want my help, you can reach out to me. If you're watching this random recording on YouTube, you can just Google Alia the Love Coach and you'll find me on Facebook and Instagram. Send me an email, send me a DM. I would love to take you through this process if there is something more there that maybe I didn't cover, and that is true for your specific situation. I can even take you through this process. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. This is my life's work. This is my sole purpose. I'm here for you to help you through this process because I have gone through it. And now it's my life mission to help other people to go through it. Because if you stay stuck in that place where you're not forgiving that person, you're not saying yes to life that's waiting for you. Beautiful life. And I will want you to say yes to it and really enjoy each and every single moment of your life. So this is all for today, my friends. Sending you all lots of love. I'll see you next Thursday. Love you. Bye.